Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to this YouTube channel. It's your guy Igor here. And I'll tell you why people are leaving Canada. I'm leaving Canada myself, and I'm leaving Canada tomorrow. And I'll tell you everything about it closer to the end of this video, or all the details about it. And I also want to put some comments from my friends, some people who've been watching this channel for over 3-4 years. You know, those guys who watched this channel, who came to Canada, who got their immigration done, who got their citizenship in Canada and left. So I'll tell you all about it and the reasons that they gave me, and then I'll also tell you guys why are general reasons why people are leaving from my other friends and subscribers, and I'll also tell you in the end of the video why I'm going, where I'm going, and all the details. So hold on. Now guys, I want to tell you the main reason is, of course, like I know some of you guys are watching, you know, on some movies, and you know, like even I love especially the Bollywood movies, you know, like I like movies from Bollywood where people are dancing naked in the snow, you know, and people are just to think, you know, it's just so beautiful. It's ice, it's cold, it's like a refrigerator. So first reason is, of course, it's cold. Like right now it is okay, but just a week ago it was like -30. Alberta, that's where I am in Calgary right now, was colder than North Pole just a week or two ago. It was crazy cold. So I'm just saying it gets pretty cold. And I know some of you are like, well, if you go to Vancouver, it's going to warmer. In Vancouver, it gets pretty gloomy and it rains. So it's not just cold, you know, when it's not too cold, but I mean this is better than ice cold rain going for 6 months or like most of the year rain. You know, that's what people are telling me. It's very, like Vancouver, it's warmer, but it's more depressing. People are saying, some people who are living in Calgary, my friends who moved from Vancouver, they said they had to move before mold starts growing in their brains. So that's how like moist and humid it is there. And it's also depressing. Like look around me right now. It's bright. So Calgary, where I am right now, it's the capital of basically sunshine in Canada. So it's less depressing here. It's colder, but it's less depressing. But it's cold, and therefore it's also depressing. But if you go to Vancouver, it's warmer, but it's more depressing. So number one reason, everyone tells me, well, it's cold. And that's one of the reasons, guys, I'm leaving Canada as well. And I'm going to a way warmer place. I'll tell you closer to the end of this video where I'm going. It's gonna be good. I'm so excited about it. Now, the second reason a lot of people are giving me is, besides the weather and depression, is you know, like people here are pretty distant. So it's like, you know, when I first moved to Canada, I was thinking there's just, you know, like a bias or discrimination towards immigrants. So I was thinking that that's the case. Right now, I realize that, well, you know what, it's actually in between each other as well. You know, it's pretty higher level of being depressed in Canada. So it is pretty common, okay, and it is basically, people are not as open as they are back home in other countries, okay, so they're even distant from each other. And plus, if you are, you know, if you're not born here, you might take it personal. You might think that, you know, just because you're an immigrant, it's difficult to get together to you know, build a close relationship with a lot of people in Canada. I still find it pretty difficult to build very close relationships in Canada, even though I have a lot of relationships here, but not as close as I want them to be. Probably it's easier to build business relationships in Canada than interpersonal relationships. So in that way, you know, it's like I build a lot of relationships here with my own friends and immigrants like myself. But without that, you know, it's like you're on your own. You're in a different country. You know, like, for example, you know, if you're leaving the house, who's going to take care of it? So it's very difficult to, you know, like, for example, you are going somewhere for a month or so, right? And then you have a house to take care of. You know, who are you going to ask to do that for you? That's kind of the difficult part in Canada, okay? And to build that kind of relationships, for some people, they live here a couple of tens of years and they can get such relationships after moving there. So that's kind of a difficult part. And most of your family is back home as well. And a lot of you, I know, guys, from my own experience, are sending money back home as well. So that's brings me to another part is work-life balance. Work-life balance in Canada, it's, especially if you're sending some money home to help your families there, from another countries. Like, I know some people are like, oh, the immigrants are coming sending money home. Okay, let's not talk about that right now. I just want to say that a lot of people do that because they have to. It's not because they want to, it's because it's a necessity to support their families, because they spend all their life savings to get you here and you want to help them out there, right? So it's understandable. But at what cost that money comes, and that money comes after the tax. And with current situation, real estate, we will talk about it in the next point. But anyways, inflation, prices, everything is so expensive and taxes are so high. So whatever you have left, you spend as expenses. Guys, last year I made a ton of money, but the expenses and taxes, it's coming. I'm going to be filing my taxes soon. But what I'm trying to say is, even though it seems like a huge amount of money, you don't get that much of money on hand as you get on the paper, because you have to pay taxes. So you think, you go home to your home country and you tell someone, look, I made this much, they're like, wow. But in reality, where does it all go? Mortgage, car payments, credit cards, other, forms of bills, and whatever is left is not much. So for me, in that situation, guys, I think I finally got out of that rat race, and because I started a business, so I changed it a little bit. But not everyone starts their own business, so most of the people are working 9 to 5, and it sucks. It really does, because you just work, sleep, work, sleep, work. You go out in the morning, it's dark, it's cold, it's ice. You're driving to work, you go back from work, it's already dark again, or getting dark. And what you do, you sleep, you go back to work, and you just keep on paying your bills. So a lot of people are like, is it worth it? And that people start leaving Canada. I'll tell you about a couple of my subscribers from this channel on what they did with their citizenship, on when they immigrated to Canada and now they left Canada. And I'll tell you what they did in a moment. And what they did is pretty genius. Okay, it's the best way to do it. It's pretty interesting. I'll tell you in a moment. So basically, guys, this kind of income and this kind of expenses, this kind of weather and relationships with the people is kind of difficult to build in here. That's one of the reasons that people, they start getting homesick, and especially if they're coming from tropical climates. Like, I am kind of used to this kind of weather. I come originally from Ukraine, and it gets cold. It gets cold. -20 sometimes it gets, but it's not as cold as here, -30. Like, it's pretty wild here. It's like a North Pole where I am right now. And anyways, I think Calgary is one of the best places, and it's because of real estate. It's another reason why people are leaving. Immigrants are coming to Vancouver and Toronto. Everyone is going to Ontario and BC, okay, as the places, because they're so popular. All the immigrants are there and they're advertising it so much. And then they go there, and if they are not rich, if they didn't come with millions of dollars, they cannot buy houses. Real estate, one of the biggest real estate bubbles in Vancouver, and especially Ontario, Toronto, is the biggest ones in the world. So people not only go through all the struggles, they can never afford to own their own housing in Canada. So if you don't come with millions of dollars, if you came like me with nothing, and you're trying to build your fortune in Canada, and you're trying to make your own money and your own living and your own legacy here in this country, and you're in one of those two cities, only 2 people out of probably 60 something people that I know in Ontario have purchased something. Everyone else is renting. In Alberta, in Calgary, for example, I already have 2 real estate properties of my own, and both of them are income generating, basically investment properties that are making me money or paying for themselves, so I don't have to pay for any mortgages. But that's here, and if they went there, and that's one of the reasons I hear from a lot of people from Ontario and BC, what they're doing is, because of this, they're leaving Canada. And okay, now I'm going to tell you about those guys that I know that got their citizenship. So here's what one of them did. One of them was struggling for the immigration to get a green card in the United States. Realized that it's going to take forever, for over 20 years, and watching my YouTube channel here, they moved to Canada. One of them, and the second one also did the same thing. They're basically two friends. So he moved to Canada, got his immigration done and everything. And after that, after getting the citizenship, he used the same citizenship to get the TN visa to the United States using Canadian citizenship because it's easier. And now again in the US, and again trying to go through H-1B and to get immigration done. But now it's way closer than, let's say, going back to India, you go home back to Canada. So they just take advantage of the Canadian passport because Canadian passport opened doors to so many countries and so many opportunities out there around all around the world. So that's what one of the guys did. The other guy, also my friend and subscriber, what he did is he's working in Canada. Yes, he purchased even real estate here in Calgary, Alberta. And yes, I helped them purchase a home. So I'm a realtor with XP here in Calgary, Alberta. So I help people buy houses. I don't deal with rents. I don't help rent a room, apartments, or anything like that. Only buy or sell real estate, residential real estate. So I helped him purchase the one guy, and the other one purchased properties here in Calgary, Alberta. The other guy, what he did is he rented out the property here in Calgary. So he doesn't have to pay the mortgage. The tenant is paying the mortgage, and actually he's making some money off it. And what he did is the smartest decision ever. He got a work from home position. And now he has been, for the past 6 months, he's been in India. And he has been making Canadian money. And he's working for a really good company, making a very good income. Living in India, his property in Canada pays for itself, generates income on that property. He can give a notice to his tenant when he needs to and come back and live in Canada if he needs to. But right now, this is the smartest person I know. Living in a tropical country, having a Canadian passport with OCI card, working in Canada from India, making Canadian money and basically living with those expenses. This is how you get rich in Canada, guys. This is if you don't want to quit 9-to-5 job and start your own business like I did, this is the way to do it. You do that and it's very smart. So this is one of the things what people do in Canada. They come here and if they don't make it to make their own business and they don't make it into a Canadian dream, a lot of people like that, they leave, they take the passport and they can come, they can visit, they can come back at any time they want to. So that's, and also they can go to so many other countries using the same passport. So that's what people are doing. I mean, it might be not right to take advantage of Canadian passport like that, but if you came on permanent residence, you lived here, you applied, you got your citizenship, you're basically Canadian, your kids are going to be Canadian too. Even if they're born overseas, the first generation of Canadians. So it's a really good opportunity. Now, I'll tell you where I'm going. And, well, guys, I'm leaving Canada tomorrow. And I'm uploading this video today for you guys. So, I'm going for a very long time. I'm going away for 2.5 months. And I'm going to India. So, I'm going to be in southern India. I'm going to Kerala, Tiruvalla. I'm going to be enjoying Indian food, and I'm also going to I'll try to maintain my diet. I don't know if there is any gyms or anything, but I mean it's time for me to take a break. It's time for me to go to another country. I'll still be making videos for you about Canada, about immigration and everything, so I'm not leaving forever. And yeah, I still have my real estate here. I have people who are going to be watching it. I have security and I have everything in place. So like, yeah, I'm not going to be telling too much about it because I'm going to be publishing this online and everything. But, you know, I was able to build the relationships with people here who would be looking after the house, and this is good thing. There will be someone every day here, and there's also security. So yeah, it's going to be an amazing thing. It's going to be like 26 hours, 26 or 28 hours of flight, and I know I'm not going to sleep. It's going to be crazy, but I'm going to India and I'm going to be making videos from there for you. I need to get a little bit of heat. I need to get a little bit warmed up, and then, you know, to have that vacation. And then I'm coming back and that's when February is. I'm coming back closer to beginning of February, and that's when I expect the real estate prices to be good. That's when I expect that the real estate is going to be a little bit more affordable, and a lot of people are waiting for me to come back on those on that time. So I'm going to be helping a lot of people shopping for properties when I get back. So this is kind of the plan. Real estate is slowing down; they're increasing their interest rates, and I know I'm going to miss out on a bunch of you guys. I know I'm not going to be here, but I'm going to do my best to answer all the emails and all the messages and everything, and we'll see you in Canada in February. But I'm going to be making money. I'm going to be making videos. I'm going to be making videos anyways for you from there on YouTube, on Instagram, and TikTok. So don't follow me on all the platforms, guys. So I'm also living in Canada, but I'm not living it forever because this is the best freaking country in the world, and I managed, I don't know, guys, maybe social media helped me. I managed to build the relationships with people. I managed to figure out how to make a very good income in Canada, you know, to sustain my own family and everything. I figured out how to start a business in Canada and be basically financially independent from employers and have a lot of free time and more time with family. Well, sometimes it's difficult to say I have more free time because I'm actually busier than I was a lot of times, but I don't feel busy because I'm working for myself and not somebody else. So that's the reason. And yeah, guys, I mean, everything is possible in Canada. Those people who I said who took advantage of Canadian passport and working from India, that's a smart move. They're smart people. I think that a dumb decision would be is not to get Canadian citizenship and to give up on Canada and leave. So I think the dumbest decision would be to pay for education, get Canadian education, and then not finish your immigration, not get advantage of taking Canadian passport and live in Canada. I think that would be the dumb decision because you lost money and you gained nothing. And I think those guys who did that's a smart decision. But I have another alternative for anyone who is feeling that they're getting depressed or something like that in Canada, guys, is, you know, start your own social media, start meeting up with people, building more connections, you know, start your own business. And it is possible to build Canadian dream, despite of what anyone is telling you on the internet, your friends, co-workers, and your community. You know, don't listen to the negative people and build your own future in this beautiful country. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We will see you soon. I'm going to make some India vlogs. I'm going to be soon. See you soon, guys.